You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
I don't know, it's uncomfortable, but I mean, the cops, you heard the sirens instantly, so at least the response time was quick.
Did you have the same?
Some frightening moments for people in Madison right in the middle of the day. A person now in the hospital. Several officers are on administrative leave after a shooting on Madison's northeast side.
It happened just after noon, not far from the Dane County Regional Airport, and that is where our Brad Hamilton is tonight, where he spoke with the chief just a little while ago. Brad?
Well, according to police, this all started when officers came here to arrest someone who they believe was involved in several armed robberies. That's when Chief Sean Barnes says this suspect decided to make a jump for it and try and leave the scene from the second floor of an apartment complex. And that's when police decided to chase him.
The officers gave chase, at which time the suspect, early indications are that the suspect turned and fired upon the officers. Multiple officers returned fire and was able to subdue the suspect.
Chief Barnes confirmed police hit the suspect several times. Now, medics took him to UW Hospital for medical evaluation, but we're being told he was conscious and alert. Coming up at 6, we're going to hear from a man who actually heard this all happen and saw the aftermath.
All right, Brad, thank you. Day 6 of the Chandler Halderson trial brought a former Dane County detective to the stand.
Stephen Grieber also lives across the street from the Halderson home, and we want to warn you that some of these details are disturbing. Grieber told the court what he smelled the day that Chandler Halderson allegedly burned his parents' remains. He was in his driveway when he says he detected a strong burning odor. He said he thought it was just a fire pit burning some firewood at first, but then after about 5 minutes or so, Grieber says the smell changed a bit.
All of a sudden I could detect a strong odor just of burning wood. And so I thought someone maybe had a fireplace or I should say a fire pit or something outside going. They're just burning some firewood. But about 5 minutes or so later, all of a sudden that odor of burning wood became a distinct odor that was more like in the line of what I thought someone was like barbecuing a large pork, like in one of these large...
Jurors also saw footage from a neighboring home security camera of flickering light from a fire in the fireplace in the Halderson home. Later, a special agent from the Department of Justice's Arson Bureau said he detected a grilled meat smell from the fireplace. Agent Bill Boswell said he recovered bone fragments during an examination of the fireplace. We have many resources for you to access all of the information regarding this major trial. The trial is being live streamed when it is in session on channel3000.com/Halderson.
And there are certain parts of the trial we are not allowed to show. You can find more information explaining that on our website. We've also posted a timeline of all the events that led to the trial from the last time the Haldersons were seen all the way to the start of the trial, and you'll find daily breakdowns of what's happened so far in the trial. You can find more information through our News 3 Now app as well.
Let's get a look now at your certified most accurate forecast. Chief Meteorologist Gary Conalti is on the weather patio. Gary?
Well, it's a little breezy today, but those winds are out of the south, so even though our warm-up was offset a little bit by the wind chill, still it felt pretty good out here. Visible cloud track shows we had plenty of sunshine today. Now we're starting to see some mid and high-level clouds coming in from the west, but notice how temperatures bottomed out last night and now are starting on their way up, and that also includes the wind chills. The winds have died down a little bit, so the wind chills aren't as bad. Low temperatures this morning, 5 below zero here in Madison, below zero most areas except for southwestern Wisconsin, but now temperatures are at their highs for the day in the upper 20s to the lower 30s, and wind chills right now are generally around 20 or a little bit above. By tomorrow morning, temperatures will be in the mid-20s after topping out around 30 around midnight. Tomorrow, there's the possibility for some flurries, maybe even a little freezing drizzle or drizzle in the morning with a high of 34. Later on, I'll take a look at some light snow that we also have in the forecast for Thursday and Friday.
All right, Gary, thank you. More tests, more shots, more masks. Those are the keys that Dane County leaders are highlighting tonight as the county battles record-setting COVID levels. Madison's mayor, the County Executive and Public Health Director held a virtual press conference at noon today, highlighting a focus on testing, noting the newly reopened Alliant Energy Center test site will process up to 750 tests a day this week. They're also focused on getting more shots in arms, 15 mobile vaccine clinics, which gave out 500 doses last week. That should help. And finally, an additional 100,000 face coverings are arriving this week for anyone who needs them.
After serving nearly 2 years on the front lines of this crisis, our healthcare heroes need our help, not just in words, but in our actions. They need us because they're exhausted. They've been pushed beyond their limits, but they continue to care for all of us.
Madison Mayor Satya Rhodes Conway also called on Madison employers to allow their employees to take the time they need to get tested and properly quarantine.
The Boys and Girls Club of Dane County is helping families who can't afford N95 and KN95 masks get them. With the help of the Evers administration, the club bought 200,000 masks. They will start distributing them tomorrow. The club plans on giving 4,000 employees in the Madison School District and other areas schools masks. Students who can't afford them, also to child care workers throughout Dane County. Do you have COVID symptoms, but you're finding it hard to get a test? You're not alone. Testing across the U.S. continues to be in high demand, with pharmacies and stores quickly running out of at-home kits when shipments arrive. Even if you have mild symptoms like a headache or a stuffy nose, Dr. Jeff Potoff with UW Health says the best thing you can do is isolate yourself as if you tested positive. He explains why isolating is so important.
If we were all to come down with COVID-19 and just go out and infect other people, what that would result in is a rate of hospitalizations that would be impossible for healthcare systems to keep up with.
Dr. Potoff also says don't go to the emergency room unless you are having difficulty breathing.
U.S. COVID hospitalizations hit a record high today, putting more pressure on a healthcare system already fighting staff shortages and lack of adequate testing.
Chris Wynn breaks down how healthcare systems are handling the strain.
As America struggles to manage the COVID-19 crisis, healthcare workers are being pushed to the brink.
A lot of hospital systems simply do not have enough staff because people are out with COVID themselves, diagnosed, forcing to isolate and quarantine themselves.
In Rhode Island, some COVID-positive healthcare workers are continuing to work in line with CDC guidance, state health officials say, because of critically low staffing levels at hospitals and nursing homes across the state.
No one could have anticipated the depth of the staffing challenge that we find ourselves in right now.
Across the country, more than 145,000 people are currently hospitalized with COVID-19, a new record high according to data from the Department of Health and Human Services.
This latest surge of Omicron is like nothing we've seen.
Data from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention shows the risk of hospitalization is 8 times higher for unvaccinated people than it is for fully vaccinated people.
The substantial number of absolute cases is resulting in hospitalization increases across all age groups, including children aged 0 to 4.
This comes as federal officials drive a familiar point, urging the public to get vaccinated or boosted as soon as possible.
The emergence of the Omicron variant again emphasizes the importance of vaccinations and boosters, which decrease the risk of infection, severe disease, and death caused by COVID-19.
In Washington, I'm Chris Wynn.
Meanwhile, dangerously low blood supply continues to be a problem for hospitals. Some health physicians are being forced to make tough decisions about who is in most urgent need versus who can wait for blood.
United Airlines reducing its flight schedule as it deals with COVID-related staff shortages. Thousands of flights have been canceled in recent weeks because of a spike in Omicron cases. In a company-wide memo, United CEO Scott Kirby said nearly 3,000 employees currently have COVID, but he touted the company's vaccine mandate for keeping people out of hospitals. Kirby said for the past 8 weeks there have been no COVID-related deaths among vaccinated employees. The CDC has placed Canada in its highest risk category for travel due to rising COVID cases. The agency advises people to avoid traveling to countries in that category. According to Johns Hopkins University, last week Canada reported its highest weekly total of cases during the pandemic, joining more than 80 other destinations in that level 4 category.
A 61-year-old man has been charged with attempted homicide after police say he broke into a home with with a knife on New Year's Day. On January 1st, around 2 p.m., Jeffrey Welty was attempting to force a front screen door open when the owner of the home came to the front door. Welty then charged into the home yelling, "You're going to die today." The victim was able to grab the knife and a struggle ensued. The victim called police after he knocked Welty unconscious. Welty is believed to have mental health issues in the past and was known to the officers on the scene. Wisconsin's Election Commission chairperson called a request by Republicans, quote, "absolutely insane" today. Ann Jacobs' comment came during the WEC's first meeting of this year. 6 GOP lawmakers want a massive amount of voter data and other information as they attempt to look in to President Biden's 2020 win. The commission today did not deny the data request, but they also want lawmakers to understand several things first, namely that it will cost a lot, it will take a long time, and there is much information the WEC is not allowed to release. Representative Janelle Branchin and 5 other lawmakers asked for the data last month.
The State Senate committee held a hearing today on a pair of proposals designated to enshrine the fiscal responsibility and accountability in the state constitution. Now, the first would restore the legislature's ability to decide how funding received from the federal government is spent. The second would require the state to account for and report all funds it receives or spends in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles. Now, both measures would need to pass 2 consecutive sessions of the legislature and be approved by voters in a statewide referendum before taking effect. Coming up next, after the 2020 election, several states passed laws making it more difficult to vote.
After the break, we'll see how the Biden administration is urging the Senate to make changes. And then later, the search continues for a Waukesha woman after her plane crashed in Panama. We'll speak with the woman's family coming up at 6.
And a strong Tuesday for the markets. The Dow up more than 183 points. The Nasdaq soaring more than 210. The S&P adds 43, and we'll be right back.
How much money have you wasted trying to find the right shade of foundation to match your skin tone? You end up with so many unused bottles, yet you can't bear to throw them out. Now, there's Color Beauty Self-Adjusting Foundation, which means you'll never search for the perfect shade again.
It's really difficult for me to find a good tone foundation. I usually purchase about 3 or 4 and sometimes mix them. Color Beauty is a game changer in finding the right foundation. You put it on your skin and it transforms into your own skin tone.
The Color Beauty foundation is so simple to put on. My skin looks great and it just looks awesome.
The key to the innovative Color Beauty formula is tiny color beads that release and blend to perfectly match your skin tone as you apply it. The foundation is white when it comes out of the bottle, but when I begin to apply it, it adjusts to blend perfectly with the color of my skin.
My biggest problem area is my cheeks right here. Color Beauty feels really light on my skin, and I can tell that it is pretty full coverage, so it looks like I don't have too much foundation on, but it is covering all my acne scars like I was saying before. I actually really love it.
It's weightless and it's full coverage, and also it literally just matches my skin as soon as I put it on. It's no work. I've never experienced a foundation like this.
Color Beauty only comes in 2 colors, light and medium. If you have fair skin or you burn easily, go with the light. If you have darker skin, go with the medium. Plus, with an SPF of 50, they're getting the highest level of sun protection in a lightweight formula. And best of all is Color Beauty's exclusive special. Order this New Year's and get 40% off. That means you'll get the color adjusting foundation, the skin smoothing primer, and the fan favorite lash enhancer for thicker, longer looking lashes at 40% off. Plus, get free shipping. Visit color40.com or call the number on your screen.
Prepare to feel good in 2022. Join Planet Fitness now for zero enrollment, $10 a month, extended to January 14th. Enjoy tons of equipment in our clean clubs for zero enrollment.
Zero enrollment?
And $10 a month.
That makes me so happy.
You know what else will make you happy? Blowing off steam in our judgment-free zone.
It's all about the endorphins, baby. What's up?
It's this place, I tell you.
Amen, baby.
Feel Fit-tacular in 2022 for zero enrollment, $10 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends January 14th.
Tonight at 6, continuing coverage of an officer-involved shooting on the east side earlier today. We'll have a live report on location with the latest and how the Boys and Girls Club plan to distribute 200,000 masks. We'll see you at 6.
Be prepared for winter weather. Trust the First Warn Weather Team to give you clear, timely, and accurate info, keeping you safe and ahead of the storms. Your certified most accurate team. First Warn Weather, only on News 3 Now. You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
Welcome back. Flights on the West Coast were halted yesterday around the same time North Korea test-fired a suspected ballistic missile. The U.S. and its allies are condemning the launch. Officials in South Korea say the missile flew faster than the one fired last week, which the North claimed was a hypersonic weapon. The launch came as the UN Security Council met in New York to discuss the country's growing weapons threat.
The DPRK's continued pursuit of weapons of mass destruction and ballistic missile programs is a threat to international peace and security.
The recent tests in North Korea are all in violation of several resolutions of the UN Security Council. Those resolutions ban North Korea from testing or developing missiles or nuclear devices.
President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris in Georgia today to make the case for Senate passage of voting rights legislation.
At least 19 states have passed laws making it more difficult for people to vote. Skylar Henry has the details.
The fight for democracy took center stage in Atlanta, Georgia, as President Biden pushed for passage on key voting rights bills.
For the right to vote and to have that vote counted is democracy's threshold liberty. Without it, nothing is possible. But with it, anything is possible.
One measure would update the 1965 Voting Rights Act and force states with a history of discrimination to clear any potential changes to election laws with the Justice Department.
There is nothing normal about a law that makes it illegal to pass out water or food to people standing in long voting lines.
Another would establish national election standards by, among other things, requiring all 50 states to offer at least 2 weeks of early voting.
President Biden has signaled he's ready to change Senate rules to allow the voting rights bills to pass with a simple majority, without Republican support.
But at least 2 moderate Senate Democrats, Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema, remain opposed to changing the filibuster rules, while Republicans say the move goes too far.
It protects a member of the Senate who represents a minority view or needs additional information before agreeing to proceed.
Some voting rights advocates have also expressed concerns President Biden isn't moving fast enough.
What we really want to see, given that he came down here, is that he's got an ironclad deal in place.
Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer is expected to force a vote on the filibuster issue on the Martin Luther King Jr. holiday next Monday. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Some voting rights advocates boycotted President Biden's speech. Georgia Democratic gubernatorial candidate Stacey Abrams also missed the event, citing a scheduling conflict.
We're learning new information about the death of television icon Betty White. According to TMZ, White's death certificate says her death was connected to a stroke that she had suffered 6 days before her death on December 31st. White was cremated. Her remains were given to Glenn Kaplan on Friday, the man in charge of Betty White's health care directive. Betty White's career spanned more than 6 decades. She died less than 3 weeks before her 100th birthday.
Let's get a check on the weather now with Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti. Gary?
Well, it was certainly nice to see temperatures back into the 20s this afternoon, even though it came at a cost. We had a bit of a breeze that dropped wind chills into the teens. But 3 things you need to know in the forecast. We'll see some flurries develop late tonight into tomorrow morning. Could be a little drizzle or freezing drizzle mixed in tomorrow. I don't think it'll amount to very much. But then we have some light snow that will develop late Wednesday night into Thursday morning. That could bring maybe an inch or so of accumulation. And then colder than normal temperatures arrive on Friday and last through pretty much all of next week. Doppler track right now, pretty quiet across our part of the Midwest. Some light snow up in northern Minnesota, the usual lake effect snows downwind from the Great Lakes. But as we take a look at future track, skies will become cloudy tonight, and there could be some light mixed precipitation, flurries and freezing drizzle, not anything heavy that would make widespread ice or anything like that. But this would happen late tonight into early tomorrow morning, and then tomorrow afternoon, just cloudy skies. The next weather system comes in from the northwest, and this arrives late Wednesday night into Thursday morning. It's a fast mover, so I think that will limit the snowfall amounts as well. The big storm that we've been watching for Friday now is taking a more westerly track. Future track runs to around noon on Friday, and notice most of the snow, even at that point, is west of the Mississippi River in Minnesota and Iowa. For the system on Wednesday night and Thursday morning, computer models are showing around an inch or less across southern Wisconsin. The two longer range future track computer models showing now the heavier snow definitely favoring western portions of Minnesota and Iowa. And notice how sharp the cutoff is on the eastern edge of the snow. This is the USGFS computer model, the European computer model, even a little farther to the west, just bringing some light snow or flurries, again, mainly late Friday into early Saturday. Temperatures, though, have started to warm up. We're 28 in Madison. To our south and west, a lot of areas seeing temperatures in the 40s and 50s. Compared to 24 hours ago, we're up 25 degrees. And parts of Minnesota and Iowa have seen a 30 to 35 degree temperature jump. So that's good news there. But the weather pattern is becoming more active across the country. We're seeing that bigger difference in temperatures. A very strong flow of moisture into the western part of the United States is going to bring heavy rain and mountain snows to much of the west coast again as one of these atmospheric rivers starts to set up. For tomorrow, mostly cloudy, maybe a few flurries or a little freezing drizzle or drizzle in the morning. High temperature at 34. On future track, starting tomorrow morning, again, the precipitation very light. High temperatures tomorrow in the middle 30s. Then here comes the next weather system, bringing that snow late Wednesday night into Thursday morning. Moves through pretty quickly. Again, the snowfall amounts from that probably less than an inch in most areas. But as we look at the 7 to 10 day forecast, that next weather system late Friday into early Saturday bringing just a chance of snow mainly west of Madison. And notice how those temperatures drop off mainly in the low to mid 20s next week with some teens by the end of the week and some flurry chances in there as well. As we check out first warning traffic, looks like a good day on the road. So there's a live view from the Beltline at Fish Hatchery Road from the DOT camera there. As far as traffic on the Beltline, no problems. Just a little bit of a slowdown in the westbound direction between Fish Hatchery Road and Park Street. Right now, about a 16-minute trip either direction on the Beltline between University Avenue and the interstate. It's a 25-minute commute from the Beltline to Janesville on I-3990 southward. Middleton to Sauk City on US 12 is a 16-minute commute. And downtown to Sun Prairie, East Washington Avenue and US 151 will take you 18 minutes. That's your News 3 Now First Warn traffic.
Gary, thank you. Up next at 5, a new series of quarters pays tribute to prominent women in U.S. history. We'll have the details coming up.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Discover what's in store at Habitat Restore Dane County. You'll find something new every time you visit to keep your project on budget with low price and high quality home supplies. For one-of-a-kind items, shop Habitat Restore Dane County today.
I'm Express is the only place where you can count on same-day service. Thanks to our local labs, shop our huge selection and get quality glasses at a price you'll love. And see better today. Right glasses, right price, right now. Clog their defenses.
Sir, yes, sir.
Combat leaves debris and damage to your home and property all year round with a solution you can get and forget. LeafGuard is the only gutter system guaranteed never to clog, whatever the weather. Call 1-833-LeafGuard today for a free in-home estimate and get a $50 gift card. Defend your gutters from clogs forever with LeafGuard. Call 1-833-LeafGuard today.
If you're hungry and you want a great deal, the Super Slam is your perfect meal. It's pancakes, eggs, sausage, bacon, and hash browns. It's enough breakfast for dinner, and it's as good as it sounds. See you at Denny's.
My daughter has type 2 diabetes, and lately, I've seen this change in her.
Once-weekly Trulicity is proven to help lower A1C. It lowers blood sugar from the first dose, and you could lose up to 10 pounds. Trulicity is for type 2 diabetes. It isn't for people with type 1 diabetes. It's not approved for use in children. Don't take Trulicity if you're allergic to it. You or your family have medullary thyroid cancer or have multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2. Stop Trulicity and call your doctor right away if you have an allergic reaction, a lump or swelling in your neck, severe stomach pain, changes in vision, or diabetic retinopathy. Serious side effects may include pancreatitis. Taking Trulicity with sulfonylurea or insulin raises low blood sugar risk. Side effects include nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea, which can lead to dehydration and may worsen kidney problems. Ask your doctor about once-weekly Trulicity.
To be a thriver with metastatic breast cancer means asking for what we want and need, and we need
need more time. So we want Kisqali. Women are living longer than ever before with Kisqali when taken with an aromatase inhibitor or fulvestrant in postmenopausal women with HR-positive, HER2-negative metastatic breast cancer. Kisqali is a pill that's significantly more effective at delaying disease progression versus an aromatase inhibitor or fulvestrant alone. Kisqali can cause lung problems or an abnormal heartbeat, which can lead to death. It can cause serious skin reactions, liver problems, and low white blood cell counts that may result in severe infections. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including breathing problems, cough, chest pain, a change in your heartbeat, dizziness, yellowing of the skin or eyes, dark urine, tiredness, loss of appetite, abdomen pain, bleeding, bruising, fever, chills, or other symptoms of an infection, a severe or worsening rash, are or plan to become pregnant or breastfeeding. Avoid grapefruit during treatment. Ask your doctor about living longer with Kisqali.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
Welcome back. New coins featuring prominent women in U.S. history began shipping out to banks this week.
Natalie Brand explains it's part of a multi-year series to honor the contributions of women across several fields.
It's change that reflects the power of women and diversity in our nation's history. A reminder now featured on a special series of coins shipping out to banks this week, with poet and civil rights leader Maya Angelou as the first Black woman to appear on a U.S. quarter.
When you hold that quarter and you see someone in your lifetime that you've heard of or that you've read about in history, that is a teachable and a defining moment in our lives.
And what does it symbolize?
It symbolizes women are powerful, women are prominent.
Deputy Director of the United States Mint, Ventress Gibson, was appointed as the first African-American to lead the agency.
The Mint produces nearly 15 billion coins a year. So to have women as part of our economy in that perspective when it comes to coins is huge.
The other women honored this year are first female astronaut Sally Ride, the first female chief of the Cherokee Nation Wilma Mankiller, Latina suffrage leader Nina Otero Warren, and the first Chinese-American film star Anna May Wong. The coin's other side will still depict founding father George Washington.
They're pairing these two entities together to say this is an American icon, and we should remember that everyone is a part of this national story.
Smithsonian curator Angela Tate says the museum's Women's History Initiative had a role in the selections.
Our process has been to compile lists of significant women and to discuss and think about national and international and local impact.
This year's 5 honorees are the first as part of a 4-year program approved by Congress to celebrate the contributions of American women across various backgrounds and fields. Natalie Brandt, CBS News, Washington.
A new series of quarters will be released each year through 2025, with a different coin rolling out every 2 to 3 months. Before we leave you tonight at 5, we have breaking news now. The Chandler Halderson trial has been temporarily postponed because Chandler Halderson has tested positive for COVID. The trial will be delayed until at least Tuesday, January 18th, and the judge will inform jurors tomorrow about the delay in the trial. We have much more information on this developing story on our website, channel3000.com. But let's get a final check of your First Warn forecast when we come back.
You're watching Madison's fastest growing newscast, News 3 Now at 5.
It's only paint. It's only paint that comes in an award-winning twist and pour container. It's only paint that can cover the brightest shade of orange known to mankind in just one coat. It's only paint that will inspire you to write your masterpiece. It's only paint that will help you become TV's hottest writer, where one day you'll meet this guy who starred in that thing. So yeah, it's only paint. Only easy opening, smooth pouring, change your life both professionally and romantically. Paint.
Guys, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction, Peak Performance for Men has a natural solution that can help you today. That's right. Stop wasting money on pill after pill that just masks your ED. Fix it for good. We can make the difference. Call Peak Performance for Men today.
So here's what we won't do. We won't let self-doubt win again. Because together, we're working on something more real. Elbows in. With a real plan and coach for real 360 support. That's Anytime Fitness. That's Real AF.
From open borders increasing crime, and rising inflation, Democrat policies are weakening America. When I ran in 2016, I intended to serve a second term and go home. But today, our nation is on a very dangerous path. If you could help make America safer and stronger, would you walk away? I've decided I can't. I'll stand and fight for freedom. I'm Ron Johnson, and I approve this message because I love America and Wisconsin, just like you.
Running a race is a lot like investing. It takes discipline, patience, and time. But most importantly, it takes endurance. Because in order to go the distance, you need to be prepared to get there. At the Burrish Group at UBS, we have a trusted advisor that's ready to go the extra mile with you every step of the way. Call the Burrish Group today.
Why consider the COVID-19 vaccine? For all the reasons behind the why, like being able to hug your grandkids, visit your grandma and grandpa, or hang out with your friends. If you're like most people, you want to get back to normal, everyday living. But all of this depends on putting this pandemic behind us, once and for all. Stoughton Health believes knowledge is power. Get the real vaccine facts at stoughtonhealth.com/fact check.
Those brave men and women of our armed forces, generations of them. Why should today's burdens fall back onto them? They were there for us. Now let's be there for them. Your local Wisconsin energy providers and the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund are working together to deliver Wisconsin veterans in crisis heat, power, and help staying in their home. But they can't do it alone. Call to donate today.
Temperatures as warm as they've been all day. 28 right now in Madison, some lower 30s over southwestern Wisconsin, but the breeze makes it feel about 10 to 15 degrees colder. Wind chills right now in the middle teens to the lower to middle 20s.
Gary, thank you. Thanks for joining us at 5. We're back in 30 minutes for News 3 Now at 6. CBS Evening News is next.